Hey guys, Zach from Zach's Woodworks. So I wanted to go over a few things about the trailer before we get into the renovation. It's a 1993 Pace trailer, 5x10. It was given to me by my mother-in-law. She used to use it for craft shows and it's just been sitting for a very long time. So she was happy to give it to me because I'd find some use in it. Basically what I'm using it for is to deliver furniture. I build a lot of bigger things, so it's gonna come in handy. Keep stuff out of the rain. I'll also be using it to bring to jobs in case I need it. Not as much, but it'll be nice to have. Since it was free, I didn't mind spending a little bit of money on the things that mattered, like sealing it and the floor and the wall and stuff like that, but everything else was kind of scrap wood thrown together, so keep that in mind. I just wanted it to be functional and look decent. That being said, I'm sure a lot's gonna change over the years or however long I use this thing. But I did wanna thank Flex Seal for sponsoring this video. I had a lot of fun doing this, so let's get right into it. Here's what it looked like when I first got it. Pretty rough. After putting new tires on it and emptying out all the junk that was on the inside was just as bad. Let's get to work. I tore the walls out, which gave me a better idea of what I was working with. Luckily, besides the leaks, the shell was actually in pretty decent shape. Next up was taking the floor out and replacing it with 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood. This Boris Centipede is amazing for sheet goods. I used the old curved portion of the floor as a template. Cut with a jigsaw and it fit perfect. The rest is pretty self-explanatory: measure, cut, screw down. The last piece needed a little finagling. Now that I had a solid foundation, I wanted to seal the entire outside before adding anything else to the inside. Cue the star of the show. I etched the entire surface, cleaned it, then rolled it on just like paint. The top and front of the trailer were the biggest problem areas as far as leaks, so I started with that because I knew I'd be adding multiple coats. When it was all said and done, those areas got a total of 3 coats. Sealing the sides wasn't exactly necessary, but I wanted the trailer to look uniform. Oh, and very important, you stir this liquid well before applying. It should be about the consistency of queso. I wouldn't dip your chip in this stuff though. While applying the second coat, I was getting excited because it was going from grungy to vibrant and a little less embarrassing to drive around in. I slapped it on and went back one more time with the roller just to give it a consistent texture. The door was a complete rebuild. I probably took about 100 of these staples out. Since the overall thickness of the door was 1 inch, I used 1/2 inch plywood strips and interlocked everything with half laps. Having the outer face of the door as a template made everything pretty easy. It'll be getting the same Flex Seal treatment as the rest of the trailer. Etch the surface, clean, apply. I filled all the corners as well just to seal the entire outside of the door. Adding the walls was basically just attaching 3/8 inch plywood. 8x4 sheets didn't fill every void, but I might add to it later. It's mostly for protecting the thin sheet metal. Alright, so now I'm just using whatever wood I have left over. So I just kind of piece this together. I'm going to try to come up with a way to make a folding workbench. Something that I can put up and move out of the way and then pull down whenever I need to work on something. So let's see what I come up with. I installed the fence a few months ago and I kept all the scraps. It's always nice to use up what you have. None of this needs to be pretty, just functional.
So I'm putting some supports on the workbench, and just a little tip, make a little notch right there. That way when you lift the workbench it doesn't rub.
Good so far. I added some magnetic strips and some very basic tools. To keep the workbench up while in transit, I cut a scrap bed frame to length and took the wheel out of a caster and used the bracket. And a hold down clamp for extra insurance. One thing I needed was a shelf or a tool bin. Again, just using scraps here. I needed it to be strong, so I tried out this flex glue. Super simple to use with a caulking gun, and I was really impressed how quickly it bonded.
It's already stuck on there.
Wow. I love this Ryobi brad nailer when it works. I added a lip to the outside of the shelf so nothing slips off while driving. Again, flex glue, brad nails, and everything was reinforced with screws. I used a cardboard cutout to make a quick template for the sides. Cut with a jigsaw and marked to fit. I used clamps to put it where I wanted, screwed to the plywood, then screwed to the frame of the trailer. I just threw together this little bracket that's going to go in the center of the shelf. This is just so I don't hit my head on it, I guess. I don't know. Kind of makes it look a little better. But pocket holes, and then I put this little brace in between. Nothing special, but it'll work. So this is just scrap pressure treated, and it wasn't even close to 90. So I figure I'll just add some shims here to get it snug to the wall. Here's a cool trick I learned from my buddy Built by Nate, using blue tape to mount anything with keyholes. You can use a level, but I just lined it up with the shelf above. Camera was a little crooked in this clip. It's actually not as off as it might seem. The last minute I decided to flex seal the fenders with black just to kind of make it look a little nicer. The added protection was a plus.
Alright guys, really appreciate you watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the content, please like and consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. If you're following me on Instagram, you know I'm working on a big pedestal right now and I'm power carving it. And I'll be making a round table for my wife actually. So look for a video on that and all the details will be on Instagram as well. So thanks again for watching guys. We'll see you on the next one.